Then there's taking inventory of what's out of alignment. So just like I was explaining about coming to understand those rejected and disowned aspects of yourself, right? As you come to understand those things, really, you begin to move in greater alignment with yourself. That's your authentic self, your true self, how you're walking in the world whole. And then taking those actions towards embracing yourself, towards embracing who you are. There is a really important way to think about our actions and our values, our actions and our beliefs. And are they in alignment with one another? For example, if you say that what you want most is to be loved, and yet you behave in ways that are unloving, then your actions and your behavior don't align, right? And that's why I talk so much about the inner critic, or that not enough story, because it has us operating inauthentically. It has us operating in our lives. We are not allowing ourselves our wholeness. We're not embracing who we are, because our behavior is damaging. It's going against what we say we actually want. So, in this example, if what you want is love, but yet you're constantly criticizing yourself for self-harming, or, doing destructive behavior, or perhaps you have those heart walls up, right? And you're pushing people away, which is really hurtful for the person on the other end, right? Those heart walls, right? Keeping yourself blocked. All of that, all of those behaviors are functioning as a defense mechanism for sure, but they're not congruent with what it is you actually say you want. And so authenticity is finding the path to give yourself the permission where your actions and your beliefs can align, where you can really embrace yourself. What are the things that you need to embrace about yourself, right? What are the things that you need to stop rejecting and disowning? How do you need to be honest with yourself and with the people in your lives about where you are? How can you communicate what you need? How can you communicate your boundaries? How can you communicate your wants, your needs, your desires? Are you giving yourself permission to do that? All of that is the process of aligning your actions with your beliefs, coming into that state, allowing yourself wholeness, allowing yourself that state of authenticity. So I want to end with some questions that you might explore for yourself. If you're, as you're listening to this, when we're done with this conversation tonight, is to sit down and explore some questions. And for those of you who are listening tonight, tomorrow I will be adding a worksheet to it with these questions to explore for yourself. So you can get in touch with your true, authentic self that wants to come forward, right? And maybe uncover some of those blocks, some of those things that are getting in the way, or what I say, what you're hiding from. What is it you're hiding from yourself? So some of the questions that you might explore are: is there an attribute or behavior about yourself that you're relying on in order to feel safe or valuable? If so, what is that? What is that attribute? Who might you become if you choose to let that go and stop relying on it? What is one thing you wish people knew about you that they don't see? What do you think would happen if you allowed them? Most of all, how might you impact others around you? How might you impact the world around you by allowing yourself to be yourself? What does that look like? How would that be important? Again, so much of what I'm talking about here is really recognizing, one, the amount of courage and bravery it really takes to own your authenticity and to recognize the risks that are involved. The reason why you feel so scared, right, is because there's a risk that you're taking. What are the consequences? And in the way you know the consequences for yourself, think about the risk it takes to be authentic for the people around us, in the world around us. You know, so much of the conversation on my hair, understanding there are consequences for me wearing my natural hair. Some people might not like this. I might be racially profiled. I might be targeted, discriminated against. I might lose out on a job opportunity. This is real. This is real world consequences, right? For the LGBTQ plus community, right? As a queer BIPOC woman, what are the consequences, you know, that people face for the love that they want in their lives, right? For the partners that they choose to have. They're just trying to live their life. They want to be authentic and whole, just like you want to be authentic and whole. Recognizing those risks, recognizing the consequences, recognizing those costs is really important, because it can help us care about the spaces that we are creating, around the relationships that we are creating, about the way that we are connecting with our society within the dominant culture, right? On wanting to create more safety around authenticity. We're allowed to be whole. You're allowed to live your life in wholeness. You're allowed to have, you deserve to have, you're worthy of relationships where you feel whole. So, things to think about. And again, if you want to navigate these questions on your own, again, I'll have a worksheet that you can sign up for on my website, sarahallymore.com, and explore these questions for yourself. And then I'd love to hear from you personally, what you think, what you're feeling, what's coming up for you as you're doing these things. I really want to thank you for joining me tonight and, you know, diving into this subject of authenticity. And I know that I'll continue to talk about authenticity. We have a conversation next week where we're going to dive into that not enough story, unworthiness, reinventing your life and your career around your passion, how you can shed the feeling of, or the lack of confidence, and move into your power of confidence around what it is you want to do, be, build. All of those things. And so much of that is also tied to authenticity. So, you know, this conversation is going to carry, I'm sure, through many conversations that you'll find here meant for more conversations. And I really thank you for listening tonight, and have a great rest of the week. I'll see you next week for the next episode. And we're going to dive into how do you reinvent your career? How do you get in alignment with your purpose, passion, and really dismantle that not enough story? All right. So have a good night, everyone, and I will see you then. Bye.